Hey, welcome back to the channel. Today we have another interesting Sudoku. So it is a 6x6, as you can first see. And then you can also see it's got some fairly nice coloring going on. And if we look at the title of it, it's called Simon by pieguy. Awesome name. And I don't know if any of you had played Simon Says back in the day, or if that's still something that people play to this day. But when I was a kid, it was fairly popular. Clearly, this is in reference to a Simon Says board or game. But anyway, that, well, let's just get into the rules of this thing. Enough nostalgia, I guess, for the day. So we've got, like I said, we've got 6x6 puzzle here. So every row, every column, and every 2x3 box contains the digits 1 through 6 each. Now, something else that's somewhat interesting on this particular Sudoku that we don't see often, at least I don't, is that the 2x3s are actually oriented in a vertical position. A lot of the times you'll see them this way. So this would be a region, this would be a region, etc., etc. So one little extra bit of interest for this Sudoku is that these are vertical 2x3s instead of horizontal ones. So something to ponder. Now we've got the next sets of rules. So neighboring digits along the green line, so that's going to be this one, differ by at least 3. So this is a whispers type of clue. Now, normally we could say some things about German whispers, but this is not a German whisper because it doesn't use the same rule sets. We'll just call this a whisper clue. So whatever the rule sets are just stating that whatever this digit that I'm pointing at right here is, these two digits on either side of it must differ from it by at least 3. And that is the whisper rule set. Now digits along the red line alternate between even and odd. So this line right here, whatever this digit is, whether it's even or odd, the ones around it, one on either side of it have to be the opposite. So if this is odd, these are even. If this is even, these are odd, etc., etc. Any set of 3 consecutive cells along a yellow line, so down here, must include a digit from 1, 2, a digit from 3, 4, and a digit from 5, 6. This would, this is kind of a high, medium, low set. I can't think of what the specific term for it is off the top of my head, but I'm sure you all recall what it is. But essentially it just means that every 3 consecutive digits along these lines must have one representative of each of these groups, high, medium, and low. And those in this instance is 5, 6, 3, 4, and 1, 2. Now, the next one is box borders divide the blue line segment with the into segments, with the same sum. So this is a region sum line. Essentially, it just means that these 4 digits, which are in this region, must add up to a certain value, and that value must be the same as what's in this region, which are these 2 digits. And then our final couple of rules are Kropke dots. So digits separated by a white dot are consecutive. So these 2 digits must be consecutive. 1, 2, 4, 5, whatever the heck it is, they just have to be consecutive. And digits separated by a black dot are in a 1:2 ratio. So whatever this digit is, this one is half or double of it. And those are our rules. So let's get into a little game of Simon Says and see what we can figure out on this one. Now, I always tend to quip that 6x6s may look nice and easy, but sometimes they can trip you up. So hopefully we don't have that issue here today. Anyway, where are we going to start with this thing? Because there are a lot of familiar rule sets, but because of the 6x6, those rule sets are twisted a little bit, or they're honed, I guess is maybe a better way to say it. So you can't use all of the normal logics you would, like on a German whisper. If this was a normal 9x9, and if this was a German whisper, you can make some assertions as to what digits can be on the German whisper, in what role they can play, and that sort of thing. But this is slightly different. So maybe we should look to see if there's anything in this specific rule set that will therefore tell us what can or cannot go on this line. is there anything that can't go on the line? And it looks like the answer to that is no. Because on a whisper style line, the way it usually works is we have a low digit, then we cycle to a high digit, then back to a low and up to a high again. Now, obviously that doesn't always work because Dutch whispers in a 9x9 will kind of jostle that mode there, but in this instance, it does appear that we're going to have a high-low situation going on for all of these, because we have a 1, 2, 3s, which are lows. We have 4, 5, 6s, which are highs. And there's nothing in between them. Like, so there's not a 5, or there's not a digit that we can say you can never go 3 above or below to get to another valid digit. Because you can put a 3 here, and you can go up to a 6. Something like that. So I don't know that there's really much we can do at the moment with the whisper style line. Now moving down the set, we go into odd evens. What we can do is color to see if there's anything that grabs us. Not particularly. So this coloring, all it's saying is that whatever these orange digits are, they are the same parity. So they're either low, or they're either even or odd. And then the green ones are the opposite. So they are the whatever, if the greens are even, the orange are odd, and vice versa. But I don't believe we can say anything about that, about which ones could be which just yet. Now, the one when I first looked at it, I thought might have the most use is this region sum line. Because what we have is 4 different digits that when combined are going to add up to the same thing that 2 digits combine to. Now, what is the bare minimum? Let's take a look at that we can put on here. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, which equals 10. Now, what is the absolute maximum we can put over here? That would be 6, 5, which is 11. So there's actually very little room for wiggle here. And I think off the bat what it tells us we have to have a 6 on this, because the least we can ever put here is 10. So you can't use 4, 5, because that's only gets you to 9. So you have to have a 6. And that 6 is either going to go with a 4 or a 5 to equal 11. So these 4 digits either equal 10 or 11, which means they're going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, or 1, 2, 3, 5. We could state that the 1, 2, and 3 have to be in these, but that seems excessive in terms of making marks for that. I don't see how we can do anything just yet with this yellow line, because there's really nothing that could tell me what's what. I mean, I could go in and start saying, or coloring like I did this one, saying that these 2 digits have to be of the same high, medium, or low type digit, and these 2 would be, and these 2 would be the same, but that doesn't seem super useful either. What about this black crop key dot? Because there's, on a 6x6, there's a little bit of a reduction in what a black crop key dot can be. And because we saw the 6 here as well, we can make a further deduction. So on a normal Sudoku in crop key dots, black crop key dots, you could do 1, 2, 2, 4, 3, 6, and 4, 8. Now on this puzzle, clearly we can't do 4, 8 because there's no 8 to use. And we can't use a 6 because we just said there has to be a 6 down here. So this can't be 3, 6, or 4, 8. So what are we left with? 1, 2, or 2, 4. So there has to be a 2 on here somewhere. So what does that do, if anything? Does it? We have, okay. I think we have 3 even digits in this column, because we know one of these is odd and one of these is even. We just put 2 even digits in here from these little bits of information we could gather. So therefore, we can never put another even digit on here. So this couldn't be 6, 4 to equal 10. Because if we put 6, 4 here, we've already got 6, 4 and 2 already taken care of. Where do we put the other even digit we have to put in? We cannot. So this has to be 6, 5. The same could be, and we can figure out what these are now. But the same has to be said for this. This can't be 2, 4. Because again, if we put 2, 4, we have 2, 4 and 6 already taken care of. Where do we put the other even digit that has to go up here? So this has to be 1, 2. Okay, that makes these 3, 4. Has that done anything for us? I don't know. I guess what it does is we can go now here and look to say, we know these 4 digits have to equal 11 because these 2 digits equal 11. So we have to do 1, 2, 3, and 5. That's the only way to make 11 in a 6 by 6 in 4 digits. Full stop. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's all. It's 11. That's what it is. So these are 4 and 6, which means there's no 6 in here because we created an X-wing. And by that, I mean, we have to put a 6 in we have to put 2 6s in these 4 cells. So if we put a 6 here, there has to be a 6 here. So therefore, none of these could be 6. If you put a 6 here, you have to put a 6 here. So none of these can be 6. So there has to be a 6 up here somewhere. Okay. Now that actually puts some information on the yellow line. Now the yellow line we said, so our 3 sets of cells from 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, 6. So we're going to have 2 highs, 2 mediums, and 2 lows on this grouping. Oh, we talked about coloring when we first started, right? Because this digit and this digit have to be of the same grouping. Now, if this was a 6, that would mean, therefore, that this one is the high digit. So therefore, this would also have to be a high digit, but it can't be a high digit because there's already 2 high digits right here. So this can't be 6. Okay, we got a 6. We've got a number. Yes, this has to be another high digit because it's 1, 2, 3 away on the line. So whatever these are lows and mediums in some order. We don't know which one. We don't care at the moment. We're going to care soon, hopefully, but not at the moment. This has to be high and it can't be 6, so it has to be 5. Therefore, that will turn this into 6 and a 5, and this has to be 4 and 6. Okay. Now we've got a bunch of 5s and 6s. What do we do with them? Is Kropke dot doing anything? Because we need to have a 5 and a 6 somewhere up in here. We need to have a 5 and a 6 somewhere up here. This might be a bit too much on marking, but how does that affect our Kropke dot, and does it in any shape or form? I don't know that it does. Well, okay, let's look at this. This does actually help us, I think, because we know these 2 digits must be at least 3 apart. So we can't have both the 5 and the 6 on this whisper style line. So this has to be a 5 or a 6, one way or the other, because whatever one is on here, whether it be the 5 or the 6, the other one has to be here because we can't put them together like I just said. So if this was a 6, this would have to be a 5, and that would break the puzzle. So this has to be a 5. And now, since these have to be consecutive, the only thing this could be is a 4 or a 6. This can't be a 6. This is a 4. So there's no 5 here. So there is a 6 up on this thing. Okay. Now, and we know there's a 3 down here. We kind of knew that anyway. So one of these is going to be a 3 that's going to go along with a 1 or a 2. Can we use our 4 for anything? Because we know one of these is a 4. Can we do anything similar No, because if this is a 4, it forces this to be a 3. But we don't know which one it is yet. Now, we know the 6 doesn't, the 3 can't go up here. So this is from, well, we knew that from the 3, 4 anyway, so that's kind of semi-useless, isn't it? This can't be a 5. Now again, same thing as we saw over here. These can't both be 5 and 6 because they're next to each other on a line. So this has to be a 5 or a 6. Okay. Is that getting us anything? Let's see. This digit, can we say anything about it? It has to be a 1, 2, or a 3. Well, I guess what that does, we could look at it this way. We got 5s here, so there has to be a 5 here, so neither of these is 5. Again, that's not incredibly useful, but it's something. So if this has to be 1, 2, or 3, we kind of already knew that because we knew we've got lows and mediums left to put on here. What's that? Go to these. Well, they have to be from 1, 2, 3, or 4, but can we rule anything out in these situations? So if this is a high digit, this ends up being a high digit, and this ends up being a high digit. That doesn't work, does it? Because the high... No, that's not true. It could work. The high digits are 4, 5, 6. I have to remember or how to differentiate between the highs on the whisper style and the high on our yellow line, because they're two different types of high. Always fun. So if this is a high digit, this is a, sorry, these two are high digits. Essentially, if this is a 6, this would have to be a 4. Wait, does that work? If this is a 6, no, this could still be a 6, right? Because if this is a 6, this forces this to be a 5. So one of these two is 6, but it can't be this one because this one has to be. So these would both be 6s. And if these are both 6s, the 5's up here, this would be a 4. I don't see an issue with that off the top of my head. If this is a 6, it means both of these would be high. This could, that doesn't help, doesn't seem to work quite as well because it doesn't force something here. If this is a 6, this also has to be high, but it could be either a 4 or a 6. This could never be a 5, so this would be a 4-6 pair. And this couldn't be high anymore, so it would force this to be a 5. Did I just prove that this is a 5 no matter what's going on? If this is a 6, this is a 5. Period. Full stop. If this is a 6, these two digits are both high. They cannot be a 5, so they have to be a 4-6 pair, which leaves this to be a 5. That's got to be a 5. It's kind of interesting. Which forces a 5 into one of these two. It's kind of a weird interaction how those things work, but it seems to work. What did it do for me? The answer is I don't quite know. Because we're still in an instance where we don't know which ones are high here. We don't know which ones are mediums or lows here. We don't know what our odds and evens here are, do we? Because if we know that 2 of these are even. I guess that, do we know that? No, we don't. Because this could be even and then one of these are even. Same as with this situation here. This could be in that. Okay. So much for the easy 6x6s, huh? Now, I just want to make sure I'm not missing anything that might be helping me along here. Don't think so. Maybe I need to continue coloring to make my mind work. Try to keep the coloring separated so I don't get it confused. So these are... Okay, no, that doesn't, does it? These are of the same parity, or, well, it's not parity or polarity, it's of the same set of high, low, or medium. Well, it's not high, it's either low or medium. If it's a medium case, these become lows. If it's a lows case, these become mediums. If this is low, it's a 1, 2, and this creates a medium here. So, I mean, there's got to be something here that's busting this up somehow, and I'm just being obtuse. We know these are what they are. Can't necessarily determine which is which. We've got a bunch of random stuff that we have to figure out how the heck to divide it up properly. High, high, or high, high, high. Maybe there's a specific digit that has to settle in somewhere in instances. So let's look at it one more time. If this is the 6, these are both high digits. They are the 4 and the 6. This is a 4, this is a 6. 4, 6, 4, 6. Remember that. If this is a 6, this and this are high digits. This is 4, this is 6. So one of these is a 4 by that logic. Because if this is high, one of these has to be a 4, or one of these has to be a 6, so therefore this is 6 and this is the 4. If this is the high, then one of these has to be a 6, which forces it here, and that has to be 4. So these 4s see this 4, so that's a 4. Okay, here we go. Now we've got it. It took me a second to get that. I had to look at options again. So now we know this is a medium digit. This has to be a medium digit, so it has to be 3. This is not 3. This is a 1, 2 pair. This is not 3. This is 3. And we've got a deet doot doot in the corner. Now I've got a 1, 2 pair, 1, 2 pair, 1, 2 pair. I can start removing some things and hoping desperately that this gets me somewhere further. Now, did it? These are from 1, 2, and 6. And we don't know which is which. Can we say anything further? We know there has to be a 3 up here as well somewhere. Now, we said... Well, I don't know if we did say it. Where the 3 is, if it lands on this whisper, it has to have 6s flanking it. That seems to make sense compared to what we said about the options here. Because if this was 6, that forces this to be a 4, this to be a 6. Well, it doesn't actually remove that option, does it? If this is a... Let's think about this and try to remember this again. If this is a 6, this is a 6, this is a 4. So that forces a 3 down here somewhere. If this is a 6, this is a 6, and this is a 4, and it forces a 3 up here somewhere. 3 can always be in either of those conditions because it's always flanked by 2 6s. Lovely. What else can I do here? Because I seem like I've run out of clues that are useful. We also know that this is 1, 2, 6. Six, 6. 4. This would have to be a 1. 6, 6, 4. This would have to be a 1. Because they have to be 3 apart. We always have end up having a 4 in one of these. The 2 can never go with a 4. So therefore, there has to be a 1 on here. And this has to be a 6-1 pair, so that's a 2 and a 1. Let's put all this in and hope to goodness it tells me the final story. Oop, didn't mean to do that. This has to have 2, 3, and 4 on it. Now, can we say where the 2 is here? We said now, if this is a 6, this is a 6, this is a 4. The 2 could always go in between 2 6s. If this is the 6, this is a 6, this is a 4, the 2 can always go between, so we cannot make that leap there. Okay, so let's go here. 1, 2. Let's get rid of our 2. We've got a 1, 6 pair. We've got a 3, 4 pair. This cannot be a 2. We cannot... I still don't think we can say exactly what needs to be what, because this could be both 6s. This could be a 3. And this would be the 4. If these were both 6s, this is the 4. This could be 2 or 3. This is never a 4, so we can just we know that's not the case, so that doesn't seem to solve that. Well, let's get rid of this stuff because it doesn't do me any good color-wise, and it might just distract me. Now, can we do anything? We've got a 2 and a 4 down here. So we only have one more even digit. and it has to be one of these two, which we already knew. This has to be an odd digit, which means we have to have 2 even digits here. Because we already have a 6, but we have to get a 2 and a 4. So this is an even digit. How the heck do I show that without causing confusion? 2. Well, this can't be, if this has to be an even digit, it can't be a 5. Let's just start there. Right, so that can't be a 5 because we just said it has to be even no matter what. So this is 5, and it's gotta do it, right? 3 and 5. No, why would it? Okay, this is 2, 3, and 4. These are 1 and 6. And of course they don't align, do they? Now, got a 1, 6, okay, this 2 C's, let's get rid of the 2 there. We've got a 1, 6 pair with a 3, 4. La-di-da. Now, this, okay, there we go. This one is the 5. My brain is just like melting right now. So these therefore have to be odds. They are 3s. This has to be a 4. These cannot be 3s. This cannot be a 4, so it's 2. This is 4. That 2 comes back here, gives us a 3. This can't be 4. This has to be 4. This has to be 2. Now, we said if this is a low, these both have to be high, so they're 6s. These both have to be 1s, 6, and 1. And that is the solution. Goodness, that took a long time. I feel like that I should have been able to see some of this stuff faster, I think. But at the end of the day, it really did take some prying to get this thing to open up and really kind of moving around and hitting different spots. I guess that kind of goes with the Simon Says, because you tend to, on a Simon Says, you tend to jump around which ones you're hitting. But anyway, that one stumped me a bit more than I thought it would. I wonder if it did for you as well. Let me know in the comments if it did. If I'm just stupid and you guys are a lot smarter than me, it's very possible. But I hope you enjoyed it. I certainly did, even though it caused me a bit of a headache. Not because it was a bad puzzle, but because I just couldn't grasp certain things and figure out where the bits and pieces had to go to solve it. But anyway, I will see you on the next one. Thanks. Bye.